I'm Keith Olbermann, and this is The Resistance. Sally Yates, American hero, a little oversimplistic, and in many respects damning the American government with faint praise, because all she has testified to the Senate that she did, that she said, that happened to her, used to be the minimum standard for public servants in this country, but now in the era of Trump, she stands out like a champion. You are the goddamned president of the goddamned United States, and your acting attorney general tells your White House counsel that your national security advisor was, quote, compromised with respect to the Russians, quote, essentially could be blackmailed by the Russians, and, quote, you don't want him to be in a position where the Russians have leverage over him, and you fire the acting attorney general, not the national security advisor. You fire the acting attorney general, the person warning you that a man charged with giving you arguably the most important advice in the world, what to do to keep this nation secure from international threat, warning you he's ripe for blackmailing by this country's primary national enemy, a person of extreme importance in our White House who can influence you, who could influence you on behalf of the Russians, and you fire her and keep him? Which are you, an idiot or a traitor? What Sally Yates testified to, what Jim Clapper testified to, the pathetic redirections and sad obfuscations of Chuck Grassley and John Cornyn and poor Ted Cruz and the other Republican Trumpian lapdogs desperate to change the subject, desperate to talk about unmasking the Trump-Russia equivalent of saying the true victim of Watergate was Richard Nixon because those audio tapes of him betraying democracy made him sound bad because people got to hear him swearing all those expletives deleted. All of that was important, but the meat of that Senate committee hearing was the timeline, a cynical, disloyal, amoral timeline. November 10th, President Obama warns Trump not to make Flynn his national security advisor. NBC reports Trump explains he thinks Obama is kidding. January 26th, Acting Attorney General Yates warns the White House that National Security Advisor Flynn has been compromised by the Russians, does so the White House can take action. January 27th, Yates goes back and repeats to the White House counsel, McGahn, that Flynn has been compromised and could be blackmailed by the Russians, has lied to other White House officials, and the Russians know about the conversations with Flynn. January 30th, Trump fires Yates, claiming he is doing so because she would not defend his Muslim ban in court. January 31st, Trump does not fire Flynn. February 1st, Trump still does not fire Flynn. February 2nd, same. February 3rd, same. The 4th, the 5th, the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. February 13th, the Washington Post breaks the story of the Yates warning that Flynn has been compromised by the Russians, and the Russians could be blackmailing the man who tells the president how to preserve our country from destruction by a foreign power, and only then is Flynn forced out. If the Post had not broken the story, how long would Flynn have remained in this White House as Iago, pouring whatever lies the Russians might be blackmailing him into telling into the ears of Trump? Even if Trump is somehow innocent of everything implied and inferred about collusion with Russia, he is not innocent of choosing a Russian stooge, a Russian vessel like Flynn, and defending him to the last, even to the point of veiled threats, like the one just hours before that hearing began. Trump tweeted, "Ask Sally Yates under oath if she knows how classified information got into the newspapers soon after she explained it to White House counsel." As Congressman Ted Lieu of California noted, there is a law, 18 U.S.C. 1512, which defines, quote, intimidation of a witness to, quote, influence testimony in a, quote, official proceeding as a federal crime, the perpetrator of which, quote, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 20 years, or both. Trump chose Michael Flynn, a blackmailing victim waiting to happen, over Sally Yates, an honest American public servant, on January 26th, and he has chosen Flynn and smeared Yates every day since. And today he adds intimidation, possibly criminal intimidation, to that list. Once again, if the Washington Post had not broken this story, how long would Michael Flynn have remained on that job? He'd still be there now, wouldn't he? Potentially being blackmailed by the Russians, blackmailed to influence the president. It is treachery of the highest order, and no matter who is the puppet and who is the puppeteer, our country is not safe in the hands of these idiots, and Trump and all of them must go, and they must go now. Resist. Peace.